Hi, this is Armaan, and today I'll explain a concept that I found interesting, which is present on many watches, the tachymeter scale. The tachymeter scale is found on many chronograph watches, and it is primarily used. Essentially, the tachymeter scale can be used to find measurements over a period of anywhere from 7 to 60 seconds, and many chronograph watches includes a hand that can be started and stopped to track the time of an object's movement. Many watches also don't have this feature, but by simply tracking the movement of the second hand, this should serve no problem. So in order to find out how fast you, or an object you're tracking, is going, you have to do some very simple calculations. There's something called the tachymeter formula, which is V equals 3600 over T, with V representing you, or the object you're tracking's average speed, 3600 representing the total amount of seconds in an hour, and T representing the amount of seconds we are tracking the object's motion for. This formula puts the value in a units per hour form, and I can demonstrate this with an example. The great thing about a tachymeter scale is that it does all the math for you pretty much, so you can use units interchangeably. Say we are tracking the speed of a car taking part in a drag race. As the lights go out and the car starts from the starting line, we start counting the number of seconds it takes by starting the chronograph. Or we can assume that we are starting from the beginning of a minute and start counting from 0 seconds. In this case, the drag strip is 1 kilometer long, and the car finishes the race and crosses the finish line 30 seconds later. When looking at the tachymeter dial, we can see that the second hand points at the number 120, which means that the car was traveling at 120 kilometers per hour. We can confirm this using the formula, as it means that 3600 over 30 equals 120, which then confirms that the car was traveling at 120 kilometers an hour. We can then further confirm this using basic kinematics equation from physics and by converting from meters per second to kilometers per hour when doing these calculations. For example, if we were to use the formula V equals d over t, which says that average speed is equal to the total distance traveled over the total amount of time, we can plug in 1 kilometer or 1,000 meters into the formula and divide that by the amount of time, which would be 30 seconds. This would yield an average speed of 33.3 repeating meters per second. If we were to then do some dimensional analysis, we can then see that this will yield a value, when rounded, equal to 120 kilometers per hour. This feature can be useful for many athletes. For example, a runner who wants to measure their average speed after running a mile, or a race car driver monitoring their lap time around a certain part of the track. And overall, that is the tachymeter scale, a neat feature present on many watches that could assist in a variety of ways.